Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Liz Butler, mind body therapist and spiritual coach with a special interest in the heart. I'm recording this video, Embracing the Darkness, on the 9th of January 2024. And yes, where I am in the UK today, there is snow on the ground. We are now in the depths of winter, and with the sparkle of Christmas and memory, and with weeks of long nights ahead, there can be no better time to reflect on the importance of embracing the darkness. It is likely you haven't stopped to consider this before, but it is deeply ingrained within us to seek out the light and shun the darkness. Our very ancient ancestors, living in close connection to the earth and the cosmos, had a more balanced view of light and darkness than we do. They were a lot more familiar with the dark, spending more of their time immersed within it. And with a deep appreciation for the natural laws, they understood that in our dualistic world, light and dark are two sides of the same coin and equally important. For the last several thousand years, we have worshipped the light, believing it to be our salvation. Most religious teachings we encounter today encourage us towards it. And we look upwards to find it because we believe up is the direction of heaven. Over the same period, we have increasingly shied away from the darkness. For a long time, darkness has been associated with evil and the downward direction that leads to hell. And consequently, we are often afraid of it. Our modern lives, with electric lighting in our homes and on our streets, conveniently allows us to avoid it as much as possible. But our ancient ancestors were correct. In this world of duality, light and dark are actually just opposites. You could even view light and dark as lying at opposite ends of a spectrum of energy movement. Light is energy moving outwards. In other words, radiation. Darkness is energy moving inwards. In other words, absorption. They are the extremes of the same thing, two sides of a coin. The very oldest wisdom teachings, the perennial wisdom, associates the opposite of light and dark with other opposing elements in our world. For example, light is masculine and dark is feminine. Light is associated with the mind, which we often situate within the brain, and dark with the body. Light with the right, dark with the left. And in terms of geometry, light with a straight line and dark with a circle. Light is associated with air and fire, dark with earth and water, light with out and up, dark with in and down. Light with action, dark with passiveness. Light with solid, dark with flowing. Light is associated with order and darkness with chaos. Light with giving, dark with receiving. Light with self, dark with other. Light with thoughts, darkness with feelings and sensations. Light is associated with electric, dark with magnetic. And light with manifestation and dark with potential. I think you'll agree both sides of the spectrum in all of these cases and all others are equally important. In fact, one side cannot exist without the other. So why then do we associate light and dark with good and bad? Well, one of the reasons is that we need light to see. To see our outer world, we need light. We don't get very far in our day-to-day living experience without light. However, To connect with our inner world, we need darkness. And connecting with our inner world is just as important as connecting with our outer world, even though many of us don't value it in the same way. During the day, our conscious mind is active and our attention is directed outwards. Whereas during the night, our subconscious mind is active and our attention is directed inwards. Our conscious mind and our subconscious mind are both equally important. And as you know, over the period of a year, we have exactly the same amount of day and night. Of course, we are also able to experience darkness during the day. If we close our eyes, we are able to enter our inner world, which many of us do through meditation. Another reason we associate light and dark with good and bad is that we have come to associate light with life and dark with death. Of course, for plants to grow and flowers to bloom, they need light. So do the animals and so do we. However, all plants, all creatures, and us also need darkness. Most seeds prefer to germinate in a wholly dark environment. And although it may not appear to an outsider that much is happening beneath the soil, that's not true. A huge amount is happening. Those seeds are assimilating nutrients, organizing their biochemistry, and starting to build the required structures. There is a great deal of processing going on. And the same is true of us. To an outsider, it doesn't look like much is going on when a baby is in the womb or a person is sleeping. But in fact, there is a large amount of assimilating, processing, and building taking place. We need all of this inner work in order for a baby to be formed and its life to manifest. And every night we need the processing and the rebuilding in order to set ourselves up for a new day of activity. There is another important reason why darkness tends to scare us, and that is because we associate darkness with emotional pain, and with good reason. For most of us, our subconscious and unconscious minds hold a considerable amount of emotional pain as a result of unprocessed feelings. When daily circumstances cause us pain, it's normal for us to avoid feeling too much. We may allow ourselves to feel a little bit, but rarely do we abandon ourselves completely to the feeling. Instead, we try to keep it under control. And we do that consciously, or we do it automatically without conscious awareness. That unfelt pain then sinks into a deeper part of our psyche. If we are aware we're avoiding challenging emotions, sometimes there's good reason. It's just easier that way. And sometimes, particularly if we're young, it's an important survival mechanism in that moment. However, if the emotions are not revisited and processed, they may cause mental and physical problems later on. Unfortunately, our society doesn't encourage us to feel deeply with all our hearts, and most of us don't even realize how important it is. Depth psychologists, such as the famous Carl Jung, believe that it is necessary to explore what lies in our unconscious mind in order to become the most integrated, whole version of our unique self as possible. Jung called this process individuation. As becoming whole, or more accurately, remembering our wholeness, is the true meaning of healing, we could also call this process the healing journey. Individuation requires that we delve into the darkness and discover what lies there. It is likely we will find unresolved issues that trigger challenging emotions. and also parts of ourselves we would consider bad, or in the words of Jung, our shadow self. If we bring these aspects to the light, in other words, recognize and acknowledge them, then healing and transformation is possible. But how do we do this? What methods can we use to delve down and explore the darkness and bring our discoveries back to the light? There are many therapeutic methods and tools that can aid this process. Some can be done alone, some are best carried out under the guidance of a therapist. Some examples include meditation, working with your inner child, hypnosis, dream work, journaling, art therapy, and dance and music therapy. And there are many others. What we are doing when we explore the darkness is we are allowing it to serve its true purpose in life, which is to present us with our potential for growth and evolution. As the darkness brings us face to face with our demons and challenges, we then have a choice to acknowledge them by bringing them fully into the light or not. When we do bring them to the light and work with them, there is transformation, and we manifest a new life in that moment. I love this quote. A seed neither fears light or darkness, but uses both to grow. So where does the heart fit into all of this? Do you imagine the heart sits on the dark side of life or on the light side? I imagine some of you will be thinking, well, it must be the light side. But actually, the heart sits on neither side. Instead, the heart sits right in the very middle. In fact, the heart connects the two sides. As you may have heard me say before, the heart is our master connector, connecting all the opposing elements of life, not just light and dark. But more than connecting, the heart integrates all elements in an alchemical process. As the world's oldest, most profound wisdom tells us, from the duality is born the Trinity. And as the alchemical heart integrates both sides of the duality, it gives birth to something completely new. You might feel this is all getting a little bit mystical, but the alchemical heart has a very important practical role when it comes to our healing. As I said earlier, midwinter is the perfect time to hibernate, retreat within, and explore your inner darkness. It's the perfect time to delve deep and work on your healing. If your healing is centered within and guided by your heart, it has the potential to be transformational. Just as there are many methods for exploring the darkness, as mentioned earlier, there are many therapies to assist your healing. It's about finding what resonates for you. I won't say too much on this today, but I just want to emphasize that dealing with emotions relating to old wounds and trauma is incredibly worthwhile, and in fact necessary if you want to reach your highest potential. Pushing away and ignoring our emotional pain only works for so long. You might imagine that the healing process is complex, and in some ways it is. But if it is centered in the heart rather than the mind, then there is a real simplicity to it too. My belief is that healing old wounds can be simplified to these 3 simple steps. Acknowledge, allow, accept. First of all, acknowledge the challenging emotions that are triggered in you and any part of you that feels wrong or bad. Secondly, allow time to explore what you have discovered and let your emotions be felt deeply, deeply and fully. Third, accept your pains and feelings of wrongness, by sitting with them and giving up any need to change them. Simple, but also in some ways very involved, and not a process that happens overnight. It does take time. In fact, healing our wounds is, in all honesty, a lifelong practice for most of us. But the rewards along the way are incredible. And these steps we take lead us into ever greater joy. Which is why, in the words of Jonathan Jenner, when darkness falls, beauty is lit from within. I hope you've enjoyed this short video presentation and found it useful. If you have, please like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot. And for more information on my work, please visit the Heart Source website. Until next time, take care and nurture your heart and let it nurture you. Bye for now.